What does Pili Rabbi say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Today is Daf Kuf Yud Beis, Yud Gimel. It's literally Erev Purim. What's going on?
It got us. We're at the, yeah, showing up.
I think we need to redo that whole thing because nobody could see that there's only 8 people, 10 people.
That's not good. Bad.
Where's everybody? Still davening? Okay. Says the Gemara. Meisvei. Okay, so yesterday we learned a tremendous chiddush that the tzir, the brine, the juices that come out, they are stronger than blood. In other words, when blood is expelled from the meat, it cannot absorb blood. The meat cannot absorb as it's expelling. However, it can absorb brine. So even though it's expelling blood and it can't absorb blood, but it could absorb brine. Now all we need to remember is this yesod, that brine is stronger than blood, and if there's something that's tummy that's expelling brine, then everything else in the pot is going to absorb the brine. Meisvei, that's all we need to know. Meisvei dag tahor shemelochoi im dag tamei. You have a non-kosher fish together with a kosher fish. Now the kosher fish is the one that's salted. Mutter, my lav, so yishnei meluchim. So the Gemara says, both of them are being salted. So you see that even though they are being salted, the brine does not penetrate into the kosher fish. Says the Gemara, so again, there's only one situation where the brine penetrates into the tar. That's where this brine that leaves the tamei because it's being salted. How does the brine leave? By salting it. Then it will penetrate into the tar fish. But let's say if the tar fish is being salted and the tamei fish is not being salted, then there is no brine to penetrate into the tar. Yes?
The tar or the tamei? Which one are you salting?
Okay, salt pulls out the brine.
Yeah.
Once the brine comes out, then the other fish is going to become tamei automatically, whether it's salted or not salted. But we need something to start the process. We need the salt to what's the word?
What are you trying to say?
Not retract, to whatever. Okay.
Pull it out?
To pull it out. Pull it out. To pull it out.
Expel? Remove?
Extract.
Extract.
Thank you. We need to extract the brine. How do you extract it? With salt. So once the process starts and the brine is being removed, it will penetrate into whatever is in the dish over there. Regardless if that other piece is salted or not salted, it will go into that other piece.
It must be that they don't touch it.
Yeah. Why?
Otherwise the salt will go on the other.
Yeah, okay.
The
Say
salt
it.
will magically go down.
Very good. So the salt will go on the tar one, but we don't care if the salt goes on the other one anyways. You mean if the salt was on the tar and was touching the tamei, then the salt would be touching the tamei and would extract the brine. Correct. All you guys missed is one simple thing that we need to know. That brine can penetrate into a piece of meat even if that piece of meat is in the middle of expelling, in the middle of being pilot. It could now, the other thing you need to understand is that all we care about is one thing, that the tamei piece has salt on it. If the tamei piece has salt on it, then it's all no good. If the tamei piece doesn't have salt on it, then it's all good. Maybe it's my phone. I need another phone for 1 second. Now if the reishis, both of them are meluach, if both of them are salted, what's going to happen? The Torah would have to be tamei. Because we said, as long as the tamei is salted, we don't care about anything else, then the Torah becomes tamei. So if both of them are salted, then certainly the Torah should be tamei. I know it's confusing, but I'm saying it's the most simple thing. All we care about is whether the tamei is salted or not salted. If the tamei is salted, then the Torah is tamei, and if the tamei is not salted, then the Torah is tar. That's it. Hashta shnei meluchim shari tar meliach v'tamei tovim baya im mishum ha loy irya tana seifa legalui reisha. The seifa explains the reisha the leitema reisha tar meliach v'tamei tafel. Don't say that the beginning, the first part, is talking about where the tar is meluach. Now, if the tar is meluach, what do we say the halacha is? The tar is meluach. Oh, we have a radish. One day removed. No.
Call a radish.
Here,
Not those little things.
I'll take it.
That's a manly radish.
Unfortunately, I should have washed it.
I'll take that.
That's a radish.
This
with
is
a
one day removed. This is a peel of a radish.
It's like a Vashti radish.
This is a peely radish.
I forgot
Ooh,
to stick- I
wow,
forgot-
it smells bad.
I forgot to stick a knife in.
So if you were to cut a little piece of this with a fleshik knife, the entire thing becomes fleshiks, even though the knife is just in a small part. Show and tell. You, please feel free to do show and tell even a day after this. Okay, now you just made me
Name
hungry.
of today's class.
Most
Unnecessary
people
radish.
think they're radishes, I think tiny little things.
All right. Don't say that if both of them are meluach, it's azatana sefer tahar meliach. I'm just reading this because the point is one thing. The point is that the meliach, the tame has to be salted, and if it's not salted, then nothing happens, and if it's salted, then everything happens. Everything becomes tame. Tana sefer tahar meliach v'tame tafel. Shari. So then you wouldn't have it right. But anyways, that's the bottom line is. Here, we just read everything. Bottom line. If the tame is salted, the tar becomes tame. If the tame is not salted, then even if the tar is salted, it remains tar. Because where is it getting brine from? Who cares if the tar is salted? The point is that brine
Maybe
penetrates
the
no matter.
salt goes into the comes back.
That's what Rabbi Shomer was saying. They're not touching, and the salts don't touch. How would a salt travel
So
across
what's
the
the
dish?
havamina in the first place? That any of the salt's going to go somewhere else if they're not touching. What's
No,
the whole
the
havamina?
havamina is that I would think that if it's salted,
Yeah.
now it's expelling stuff from
Why would
itself.
I
So maybe
think
it
it's
could.
not touching. I don't understand. I don't understand. Either we have a havamina.
Maybe there's brine. Maybe there's brine sitting
Is there
there.
brine?
No. Now we know that if it's not salted, there's no brine. We don't have to contend with any brine. Toshma miseifa, the seifa. The last part of that brine, it says, "Avalim hoyo tame maliach v'tar tafel." If the tame was salted and the tar was not salted, then it's aser. Okay, that's what we said. That fits in with what we said until now. That the tame fish, you have two fish sitting next to each other. One is tame, one is tar. If the tame fish has salt, then the tar fish becomes aser. Tame meliach v'tar tafel huda aser. So it seems like only in this case that one of them is salted, the tame. Hashnei meluchim shari. But if the tar is also meluach, then it would be tar. Why would it be tar if the tar is salted? Why would it be tar? Because they're both expelling seer. They're both expelling brine. And if the tar, I would think that if the tar is expelling, it doesn't have the ability to absorb. No. I did tar reisha tar meliach v'tamei tafel. Since the reisha is also talking about one case, one out of the two has salt, which is the tar one. Okay, so we did all that to say one yisoid. That brine is stronger than blood. Brine can penetrate into meat, even though it's in the process of expelling outwards, it could still penetrate inwards. And all we care about is that the tame fish has the salt and it expels brine, and therefore the tar, even if it has salt, it doesn't have salt, it doesn't matter. It receives that salt and makes it treif. Simin bisra the manach nafkusa. Omer Shmuel. Ein abas yitzim dei damoi. Now we're going to go into hilchos melicha. When you do melicha, there's 3 steps. You have to rinse it off, the piece of meat called hadacha. You rinse off blood. Then you salt it. Yafa, really well. Then you rinse it one final time called hadacha achroina.
How long does it stay salted?
I think they said 18 minutes to an hour, preferably an hour. Rav Huna says you only salt it and you rinse it. It doesn't mention anything about rinsing first. And it says in the Brayso, like we just said, that there's 3 steps, and that's the halacha. There's no machlokes. We're telling you a chiddush that if the butcher rinses it off in the butcher shop, and then later on the meshgiach puts on salt, that's also good. The first rinsing can be done by a butcher. Rav Dimi min arda malach bei milcha gilanisa. Rav Dimi used giant pieces, maybe today it's called kosher salt.
Of course.
Very thick salt. And then what did he do? Uminatzle. So we have halacha here. If you use very thick salt, you must shake off the piece of meat before you wash it off. It's not enough to just wash it off because the pieces of salt, they absorb the blood and they could get stuck to your piece of meat. If you have one piece of salt stuck to your piece of meat, that blood could go back into the meat and ruin everything. Another halacha. We don't assume that there's blood in the intestines. Tirgima, akakashta, the rectum, umaya, and the intestines. The hadra de canto is here. Oh, you remember this? Brings back memories? This is not from it. This is the hadra de canto, hadra de canto, some sort of next to the
Rectum.
No, and the picture looks like it. Here's the rectum. Here's rectum. This is also no blood in here. So what's that? If you were to cook this, seems like it's if you do it b'diavad, you forgot that you're not supposed to, and you cooked it. You don't have to worry about blood. You're allowed to eat it. Omar Shmuel Eminichim Basam Eliach Ella Al Gabi Kli Minukov. Here I have to retract a shtus that I said yesterday during this year. Yesterday we were talking about this halacha that if you have piled up meat and blood comes out of the top piece of meat and comes down onto the bottom, and there's a piece on the in blood, everything is mutter besides that piece soaking in blood. And then I added something wrong, that if you were to salt that piece, then it's okay. And it's not the halacha. The halacha is that piece is gone forever. Once it absorbs outer blood, you can no longer remove that blood from it. You can remove blood that's naturally in there, but if blood came in from outside, it's a goner. And that's what the Gemara here says, Omer Shmuel, Eimenichim Bas, it doesn't say it, but here is this halacha again, Eimenichim Bas Meliach Ela Al Gabi Kli Minukam. So when you do Melicha, you need to use a kli that has holes on the bottom so everything can drain out, because if you don't, then you have this issue that you can't fix. The bottom piece is going to be soaked in blood, there's nothing you can do about it. Rav Sheshes did it wrong. Malach le garma garma. He was makbid to salt each individual piece by itself. He wouldn't let pieces touch each other. He's a brisker. Says Gemara, trade my time Eloi. Why was he so careful? Because he's worried that the blood from the top one will drip out and go into the second one. What's an afkemina? If you're worried about blood going out of something coming in, then you have to worry about the blood of its own piece going out and coming back in. It'll come from the top part of the piece and go to the bottom of it. Go from the left to the right. Elamai, we're not worried about that. That doesn't answer, because if it does answer, then there's no way in the world to ever kasher meat. Every piece of meat is going to have blood that comes in and comes out. It's going to come out from the top, drip down the bottom, and come back in. So what do? It's not a problem. You can't. You're not makbid on salting them individually. Omar Shmuel Mishum Rebechia Hashover Mafrakta Shebehema. The way it works is that right after shechita, the animal makes a lot of noise and a commotion, and it helps the blood drain out of the body. So if you were to stop that process by breaking its neck immediately after shechita, so it can't scream anymore, so what you're doing is you're trapping blood in the body. And why is that a problem? That's stealing. If you are a butcher, you're stealing from people. Similar to what they do today. They take a piece of meat and they literally inject water into it, and then they write in small letters 30% water or 10%. And you see it, but you don't chop it. L'maisa, you're paying for water, and they do it with dafka. So over here is a similar thing. You're saturating the meat with blood, unnecessary blood, and you're charging them for blood. There's no way for a person to know. A person knows the typical meat has X amount of blood, and that's what I'm paying for. Okay, but they don't realize there's another 10% of blood because you just broke the animal's neck. You make the meat heavier. So now the Gemara sticks in another you're also causing the blood to remain inside the limbs. Now, inside the limbs is not such a big deal, maybe. Yiboilu, says the Gemara, and the Gemara remains in a teiku. Hechi kamar. Is it because the last three words, is it and or because? It would seem like it's and. But you could say that it means the reason why he goes to the is because Mavliya.
Which means that there'd be another Israel
Exactly.
involved now.
So right now, as explains Rashi, there would be two Isurim. If you are not selling this meat, so you have no issue, you're not stealing. So for me, I personally like more blood in my meat. But maybe you're being over on blood because the Torah lets you have the natural amount of blood through the shechita process, and now you're oversaturating with blood that doesn't belong there. Perhaps that's also. Holiday shaper dummy, maybe for himself would be mutter. Or dilma nami aser. Teiku.
This is the shame of shooting.
Interesting. Very good. Very good. Shooting the animal after shechita would cause, because it can't scream anymore. There's a whole process, a natural process that happens that allows the animal to.
Yeah, it's a standing after.
So my question is, do we?
It doesn't release the blood.
Right.
So if we hold, according to the tzad, that not releasing the blood means that you can't kosher it properly, you can't get the blood afterwards out of it.
Right.
Then it's a yeah. The question is, how long after shechita is it shooting it out?
So do we believe that non-kosher animals have less blood in them, more blood in them than kosher animals? Do we really believe that?
They hang the animals afterwards.
They do drain the blood. I'm saying if scientifically, if you open up an animal, is it more saturated with blood? Does the melicha process help more?
They have a different process anyway, because the belief.
They have a way to extract the blood.
But I think at the end of the day, it has got more blood.
They have, I don't know. I'm going to assume that the treif meat today has the same amount of blood as kosher meat. That's what I'm going to assume.
No, we kosher.
Table. Obviously, there's no issa d'oraisa to put them both on the table. The issa is to cook dairy and meat, to eat dairy meat, and as we're going to see, there's machlokes whether that includes chickens also. That's the following mission in a second. But to put it on the table, you for sure don't have get an isser. Even steaks on the table, you don't get an isser. There's no lois asa. But certainly chicken. Ha'oichloi, says the Gemara, over belois asa. It seems like from the Mishnah that if you eat chicken, you're over on a lois asa, shmamino b'sar oiv b'chol of the reisa, and that's the machlokes in a second. From the Mishnah you would see that. Says the Gemara, you don't see that. What the Mishnah was trying to tell you, that you'll never come to Issa D'Oraisa if you put it on the table. Not that you're not over by just putting it on the table. Even if you put it on the table and you ended up eating it, you're not over Issa D'Oraisa. That's how you could be Medayik from the Mishnah. If you want to be Medayik,
Just say it.
no. The point is, there's no one way or the other. I can be Medayik on the one hand that if you eat it, you're over D'Oraisa. I can be Medayik on the other hand, if you eat it, you're not over anything. So don't make any diyukim from the Mishnah.
So what's the point of the mission?
I don't know. That it's pashut not. I don't know.
This mission.
That you're not over what?
What this mission come to teach me?
That you're not over Isser by putting it on the table, which is pashut. Right. Besar behema tahira, bechalev behema tahira. So this is what?
Simon Peches.
What about it?
First Simon and Bas B'chal.
And why is it peichas?
Wow.
Oh, I thought you were saying according to Rav Shor that each simon pach. Bas b'chal put in the pach because you can't have enough from it.
That's a Simon, I think.
Very nice. Bas behema tahira, bechalev behema tahira. The what? Aswana. Chap. I have a great chab. It's called chab. So if you take the Isra Bas B'chalav is the basar of Behemoth Torah. Tosfos points out that this is going according to Rabbanon that it's all three. It's Behema, it's Chaya, it's Oif. The Mishnah uses the law Behema Tahira, B'chalei Behema Tahira. It's the milk of a kosher animal with the meat of a kosher animal. But if you take milk of you take milk of a lion and cook it with a cow, you're not over anything. Also levashel, also bahana. So the isra is bishul, eating and benefiting from it. B'sar behema tahira b'chali behema tmeya. If you take the meat of a cow and you cook it with the milk of a elephant, b'sar behema tmeya, take elephant meat b'chali behema tahira with cow's milk, mutar levashel mutar bahana. There's no isra to cook it. Obviously, you're not allowed to eat it, but you're allowed to benefit from it. if you do basar b'chalav with a chicken, you're not over minat Torah according to Rebbe Kiva only. Shenemar lo yisevash, not according to him only. The chicken part is also Rebbe Glili. Chaya part is only Rebbe Kiva. Shenemar lo yisevash glili b'chalavim shalish pam. And we know that the Torah says lo yisevash glili b'chalavim 3 times. Prat l'chaya, one is to exclude a chaya, a deer, or la'oif. The second one is for a chicken or a bird. The third one is for behemoth. In the same pasuk, the beginning of the pasuk says, not for a oif and a chai.
The way we learn this right now is the 3 times that it says it.
Oh no, but there's a miut. There's the ribu and then there's a miut. Is the positive and the negative. So it says that in the pasuk it says loisochlu kol nevela. That's the beginning of the pasuk. All the way in the Varm Yudalad, all the way at the end of the pasuk it says loisavashak liba chalevimai. So since the Torah talks about a nevela, never loisochlu kol nevela, but never loisavashak liba chalevimai. It's in the same exact pasuk. Esha asum shum nevela. Anything that you have a problem with nevela, also lavash b'chalav. What do you have a problem with nevela? Chaya, behema, and oif. There's no nevela on a lion, on tmeim. But on kosher chayas you do have, and on kosher birds you do have. However, so if that's the case, so chicken according to Rabbi Yitzchak Lili should also be d'oraisa, and it's not d'oraisa. Why not?
You said in that story with the chazir that we said that we have.
You hear? On Motzei Shabbos I was talking about a kazayis, and I said that a chicken is less than a kazayis. And if not Menachem, I would have gone weiter. It wasn't like a slip of the mouth. I really thought the chicken's udder. I didn't think. I saw Rashi, I picked Rashi. It said Kizayis, and I thought he was talking about the udder. He was talking about the heart. Over here, the Mishnah says again, correcting me, that the oif doesn't have milk. Chicken doesn't nurse its chicks, and therefore the Isra of Basar B'chalav doesn't apply to chicken at all, according to Rabbi Yitzchak. So we have 3 shitas. Either everything, chickens, chayis and behemoths. According to Rabbi Kiva, only behemoths, not chayis and not chickens. And according to Rabbi Yitzchak Lili, he takes 2 out of the 3, chayis and behemoths and not chickens. Says the Gemara, Minani Mili. Now the problem is like this. It says in the Torah, Gedi. So if I want to be, what are they called? The Karaim, the Karaim. No, I'm saying it wrong. Whatever they're called. So I could say, the Torah says Karaites. What are they called? Okay, correct. I could say the Torah is only talking about a goat, and goat I'm finished. I could do basar b'chalav with a hamburger. I could eat hamburgers, no problem. It's only goat meat if I want to do that. Says Gemara, you can't do that. Yehuda sent a gedi, and it also says kan gedi izim, and over there it was mamish a gedi, and it wasn't a cow. The Torah says he sent a gedi. It's dafka over there that was bedafka gedi, but other places it's not. So maybe learn out from there that no, it has to be only a goat. So you have 2 psukim. Rivka put on Yaakov the skins of a goat, and over there it wasn't a cow, it was dafka a goat. Maybe dafka over there because we know it was specifically a goat. So maybe learn from that pasuk that everywhere else a goat is a goat and nothing else. So this is the famous concept. Since we have 2 psukim, it's dafka over there. Over there it says ha'izim. The hay is extra 2 times. This points out you don't need 2 times for this sugya. You only need once. But the point is that it comes to me mind those 2 psukim, and only those psukim is dafka gedi. But everywhere else in the Torah that says gedi, it means all kosher animals. Omar Shmuel gedi, l'Rabbi says achelev, gedi, l'Rabbi says ameis, gedi, l'Rabbi says shlil. Oh yeah. Here it's very small. It's not important. Just so you should know that I wrote this out. It says 3 times gedi. One comes to be marba chelev. Chelev means, maybe it's not even in here. Yeah, it does. It's on the bottom. Chelev, if you were to cook the fat of an animal, which is also the right to eat it anyways, if you to cook it with milk, you over another isser called basar b'chalav. Meaning, isser chalal isser. Where does he know that isser chalal is isser? From this pasuk itself, as we're going to see. Gedi l'Rabbi says ameisa. The second time it says Gdi to say that even if an animal dies, you're over Mazbachal. No, I think maybe you have to shecht it. Gdi l'Rabbi Shlil. That the unborn fetus is also part of the basar. Gdi l'Hoitzis Adam. Now we continue. It says only 3 times. He goes on. Gdi l'Hoitzis Adam. Comes to exclude blood. It's not part of it. So if you cook blood and milk, you're not over. Midiraisa. Gdi l'Hoitzis Hashilya. The placenta. It's not included. Gdi l'Hoitzis Atmeya. And it comes to exclude the tamei. And the Gemara is going to say that it's really 3 things. V'loi b'chalev shchuta b'chalev imoy says 3 times b'chalev imoy. V'loi b'chalev shchuta. It has to be. V'loi b'chalev zachar. It has to be roy to be a mother, and a zachar can't be a mother. B'chalev imoy v'loi b'chalev shchuta has to be a mother, and a dead one cannot be a mother. B'chalev imoy v'loi b'chalev tmeya has to be roy to be a ima and be kosher. Not tmeya. Hot la sog.
From an animal that's living?
What?
The milk has to be from an animal that's living right now?
Right now. Yeah. So if you extract milk from a dead animal, no, it's not the rice. You just said 6 drushes. From here, this is the makar for Shmuel, the Isachal Iser. So the concept of chaylev and dead in nevela is one. Is actually one kind of Isser. That Isser Chal Isser, it's one Chiddush. So I learned these 2 things, Chaylev and Nevela. Dam Nami Lav Gdihu. Then blood, I don't need a pasuk for because blood is not part of a goat. Blood flows through the goat, but it's not an aver of the goat. And the placenta is just the excrement, it's not part of the body. One to include the unborn, v'chad the fetus, v'chad lemutei behemot meya. V'savar Shmuel Isachal Isser. Now just a general question. You tell me that here's the side that Isachal Isser. V'amar Shmuel mishum Rebbe Lazar. Now Rashi points out that Rebbe Lazar never. I think it's Rashi. Saw it somewhere over here. He never really met him. So it means mishum means he heard in the name of, but he never actually heard it from Rebbe Lazar or Rebbe Eliezer. A kohen who himself is tamei, who eats truma that itself is tamei, so he didn't do much. He doesn't get misa. The piece of truma is already mechulal, so he didn't accomplish much. He doesn't get misa. So you see that there's no concept of isur chal isur. He doesn't get another isur. Says the Gemara. So the 2 ways to answer it. Either Shmuel always holds Isur Chal Isur, but Truma is different, or he always holds Ein Isur Chal Isur, but Basar B'chol is different. Maybe it's a special case Basar B'chol. You said it has to be right to be a mother. But this goat or sheep or whatever it is never gave birth, so she's not a mother. But she has milk because she's pregnant. Is it considered milk of a mother? So what? Even the since this has potential to be a mother, this animal, so Mela, her milk is also, even though she's not a mother. Itmar, hamevashel chaylev b'cholav. I have Nekudas, so I can read it. You guys, you'll just have to trust me. That's what it says here. You take. So this is the question. What? Right. That's what I was thinking. So, how do you know? Chaylev b'cholav. Okay. What if you put the chaylev first in the pot and you liquefy it? Fine. So Zokti Gemara. So this is the question that we had before. Shmuel says, Isur Chalal Isur, you over on 2. Chaylev and Cholav. So the Gemara is having means that there's machlokes whether there's malchus in this case. The mando amar loike kosover Isur Chalal Isur, mando amar inu loike kosover ein Isur Chalal Isur. Maybe the machlokes between Reb Ami and Reb Asi is whether or not Isur Chalal Isur. Loi. The kul ami ein Isur Chalal Isur. So, since Ein Isur Chal Isur, and there's already Isur of Chaylev prior to the Isser of Basar B'Chalav, so you only over on Chaylev. So if you eat it according to both Rabbi and Rasi, you are not over on Basar B'Chalav. So where is the machlokes? Keep ligi abishul. Can you cook them together? Mandom aloike chadisuru. Right? You could cook Chaylev all day long, you're not over anything. But you're not allowed to actually cook. Forget about eating. You're not allowed to cook Basar B'Chalav. So since in that situation there is one Isser, so according to one of them, you're over on that Isser. So what about the other one? The other one says you're not over anything. Why? Very interesting chiddush. But at the end of the day, I'm cooking Basar B'Chalav. Who cares that it's Chaylev and Chaylev you're not over? You notice the Torah says 3 times the same lashon bishul. If the Torah wanted to say don't have enough from it and don't eat from it, the Torah should say loisavashal, and the second passage should say loisoichal, to tell us that they're on the same level. And when one doesn't have an isser, the other one doesn't have an isser. Even the achila leilaki, since there's no isser achila on chaylev with milk, abishul nami loilaki. So there's also no chiddush. There wouldn't be an isser for bishul, even though there is a real bishul here. But since there's no achila here, so there's no lav on achilas basar b'chalav here. So there's no lav of bishul basar b'chalav. But there is a lav of chaylev. Have a great